Okay, so not really sure how to start this other than by saying thank you. Thank you for being patient, being supportive. The last 3 weeks have not been great. We endured a pretty substantial storm, probably one of the worst storms in recent memory here in the Pacific Northwest. And I've posted photos on Instagram, talked a little bit about the storm, but nearly 1 million people without power for a week plus. Kim and I are safe. Our home is safe. Our neighbors, some of them not so lucky. And the community in which we live also got hit really, really hard. We basically had no cell, no communications, no Wi-Fi, no power for 6+ days. And that is a distant memory because at the end of that, we also lost our wonderful dog, Asparagus, aka Gus Gus. And we've been processing that loss, and I have learned a lot about grief, how I process grief, how I don't process grief. So just life in general has felt really difficult. This studio space has felt really difficult. It's been a challenge to just come in here and do work, because Gus was such a big part of this space. He would either be at my feet during reviews or at our feet during live shows or next to me while I'm editing. And that has not been the case. Kim and I are getting through it as best as we can. And it goes minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, where things are okay. They feel normal and you're trying to get back to work. And then suddenly they go the other direction. So most of this video from here forward is going to be a moment a couple of days ago where Kim and I were able to go out to the trails and have a bit of normalcy. And so I brought the camera along, and it just kind of felt like a good day. But not all days are good days. I just wanted to give a bit of an update as to what's been going on here, maybe why we've felt a little radio silent. We have our registration for Tiger Claw opening in a matter of days. So it's not lost on us that we've sort of got to get back to our regular schedule. We hope you join us in 2025. The event is going to be spectacular. We've got the 50K, the Ascent. We've got what's called the Big Cat. It's going to be both events if you want to do both. I talk about it in the footage to come. So the rest of the video is going to be Kim and I out a couple of days ago on a trail that was impacted severely, as you'll see, by the storm. It is on the Tiger Claw course, but work is being done to make that great. And we can't wait to see you in 2025. I'm sorry there's no Ginger Miss this year. I just don't think we can pull it together. Looking forward to 2025, though. We've got some fun surprises that we anticipate you will love. Again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding and love and support. This community has been amazing, helping Kim and I get through this day by day. And it's still very fresh. We're just trying to figure out how to get through. Okay, regardless, enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. All right, so we're about 2 weeks removed from the Bomb Cyclone that rolled through the Pacific Northwest, which I would say honestly is probably one of the more harrowing storm experiences that we've had in recent memory. Growing up in the Northwest, windstorms were not abnormal. We had a Thanksgiving where a giant branch came through the kitchen window and destroyed the whole feast, put glass in everything. So I grew up with windstorms, but this one particularly was different. The winds were coming from the east. The low pressure cyclone over the Pacific was pulling air and wind over the Cascades and down into the valley towards Seattle. Now, we had nearly 1 million people without power over the region, many of which didn't get it back for a week, ourselves included. So it has been quite the experience. So we're out here on Tiger Mountain, actually on the Tiger Claw course. We wanted to give you a bit of a visual cue as to just how damaging the storm was to very specific regions here across the Northwest. So Kim and I just reached a section of the course where it just starts to get pretty hairy. A big shout out to all of the crews, the volunteers who are actively cleaning up these trails, pulling trees, logs down that are in dangerous positions. This section of trail will get dealt with before Tiger Claw, but right now it's bad. I just wanted to come out here with the camera to kind of show you what happened. This next half mile or so, maybe even less, the trail just essentially disappears and it kind of starts right here. So we've got a couple of big trees down, which obviously we'll be able to go under. This tree seemingly lines up with the trail that remains. And you can actually see some trail crews may have already come out here. Some people might have brought chainsaws and and help clean up a lot of the mess that already exists. Yeah, we're thankful for the crews that have been out here, because this tangled web of matchsticks is still laying out here. You can kind of see how bad this was. I can't even imagine what it would have been like out here during the storm. Like, there's no doubt that tucking behind a tree or trying to find safety out here wasn't an option. It just, the wind just destroyed so many of these trees, which have been standing for 100+ years, some of them. Giant root ball. That's probably a good 20 to 25 feet across. I know the GoPro doesn't do a great job of showcasing that.
This is...
Okay. This is a massive tree. Huge. And we are not out of the woods yet, literally. Right now, we are off trail until right now. We just got back on it. Again, a testament to the strength of the cyclone. And just for clarification, I'm not a weather expert, but anything originating over the Atlantic hurricane, over the Pacific, it's either a cyclone or a typhoon, depending on its origins. And this was a cyclone that pulled winds from a direction that is not normally where wind comes from here. So a lot of these trees, which have stood for hundreds of years, just aren't used to getting 100-mile-per-hour winds, record-breaking winds, record-breaking low pressure system. People lost homes, lives, our neighborhood. So many homes got trees toppled on them, and it's devastating. It really is not a happy reminder of what occurred a couple weeks ago. Branch pockets, you don't necessarily know how deep they go. Just a little bit of caution. Traverse through. Yeah, I mean, there's no trail.
I have 0 sense of where the trail is. But you can see people have blazed this way, but you can also see people have blazed that way.
We're assuming the trail makes its way this way. We're so familiar with this trail. Despite our familiarity, it is still very difficult to navigate. And while we know exactly how to get back on it, should we deviate off of it, for those maybe unfamiliar with this trail, even though it's super close to other trails and it's not super remote, it can be completely disorienting. Yeah, I'm gonna peek the other way.
This feels a little like, there's footprints this way, but there's also footprints over.
Yeah, that
might be the easier way to go.
That felt a little dicier than what I remember.
Sure about that?
I mean,
Okay.
fuck, honestly. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We're just trying to find the safest way through. We've already been through here once before, and it's just disorienting. All right, we found it. Basically over these trees, and the trail picks up right over there. Nice job.
I almost ripped my pants.
Some of these trees were just torn down like toothpicks. Kim brought up a good point that it's not so much just climbing over all these trees, it's remembering to do it safely, because one bad slip and you could impale yourself. And that's, I mean, that's not me being dramatic or trying to hype it up, but be careful, be safe. It's not ready for running. It's definitely going to be a hike for anybody. But again, a major shout out to all of the crews and communities who are doing their part in helping to clean up so many of the trails out on Tiger. This is like a quarter mile that you've been watching that is just devastated. But the second you get off of this quarter mile, it's like a storm didn't even roll through. And that's sort of how the whole Puget Sound region was during the storm. Issaquah, for example, got hammered. Seattle, still lots of customers without power outages and internet outages, but for the most part, they had power back on in days versus weeks. God, just the force of wind to blow some of these trees. Now, these are healthy trees too. These aren't widowmakers. These aren't trees that have been dying and ready to come down for a while. Like, from what we're seeing in our limited amount of expertise on trees, these are healthy trees that just got ripped out of the ground. If there's any silver lining to this storm or the aftermath, I think it's the communities rallying around each other and supporting one another. Washington Conservation Alliance, Washington Trails Association, the Issaquah Alps Trails Club, licensed sawyers and volunteer trail runners who've come out here to help do a lot of the work. It's great to see the communities supporting communities and to keep our mountains and our trails clean, safe, and beautiful for users from around the region and beyond. We're very, very proud of Tiger Claw. We have a lot of work to do in preparation for that race. Registration opens on the 15th if any of you would like to participate in the 50K, the Ascent, or the new event we're calling the Big Cat, which is both the Ascent and 50K. We're gonna be out here getting these trails ready. And those of you who run and maybe aren't familiar with the region, you're gonna get a really good look at what happened here on November 19th. Personal shout out to my wonderful wife who agreed to come out with me today. It's been a really, really difficult past couple of weeks, and we're thankful for this community for rallying behind us and just, I don't know, helping us get through what's been by far the most difficult time. Not just the storm, but losing our little Gus. So, oh yeah, this is some fresh chainsaw right there, maybe today. This is really good work. This was not like this a couple days ago. Wow. I mean, well done. Well done to the volunteers. It just goes on. The number of logs that have been chopped to make this trail accessible. Whew, excellent work, whoever came out and did this. All right, thanks for watching. Thank you, lovely Kim. And we appreciate you all. All right, we'll see you next time.